Happy day, students. In this video, we are going to start off with our next new chapter from Social and Political Life. Chapter number 1. Chapter name is On Equality. India is a democracy. What is democracy? Yes, you're right. It is a form of government which contains people formed by the people. All right. To start off with, I said India is a democracy, which means we are a democratic country where people to represent us are formed by us. The word demos means people and kratos means power. So put together, the word democracy means people's power. So here, to understand what is democracy, we shall know what are the key elements of a democratic country. The resolution of conflict, equality and justice, people's participation. These three are the essential key elements of a democratic country. So in this chapter, we are going to see what is equality, why it is important in a democracy, whether or not everyone is being treated equally in India. So here we have a case study to start off with. What you see here is actually a scene on the day of election. The people are standing in a line to cast their vote. So here is the character of the case study that we are going to start off with. Kanta Devi, who is a domestic worker. She, along with her friend Sujata Kumari, who is also a domestic worker, are there on the day of election in the line to cast their vote. Kanta exclaims to her friend Sujata that even her employer, Mr. Ashok Jain, is standing in the same line to cast the vote. So here is Mr. Ashok Jain, who is also standing in the very same line where Kanta Devi and Sujata Kumari are waiting in the queue to cast their vote. This makes Kanta Devi have the feeling of being equal among everyone in spite of the societal status, economic status, compared to the others who are standing in the line. After the election, Kanta Devi returns back to her home where she gets to know that her daughter is not keeping well, but due to her condition, her work situation, she cannot right now take her daughter to the hospital, but promises her daughter that she will take her to the hospital back when she is home after the day's work. As soon as Kanta finished her work, she manages to get some money from her employer, Mr. Ashok Jain, to take her daughter to the hospital. So as she reaches back home, she carries her daughter to the hospital. But here again, she stands in a line in a queue to meet the doctor. So here she is trying to understand why is she not having the equal opportunities that Mr. Jain has. In the morning, she was there standing in the line, the very same line where Mr. Ashok Jain was also there to cast the vote. But the same day in the evening, when she is about to take her daughter to the hospital, she again stands in the line to take her daughter to the hospital to meet the doctor. But She just thinks about Mr. Ashok Jain, where in case if he had to take his children to the hospital, he needn't necessarily stand in a line to meet the doctor because he has the privilege of taking his children to a private hospital, which is not the right situation where Kanta Devi can take her child to a private hospital. Now, why is there this difference? Equality has different phases. Morning at the election, Kanta was able to understand what equality meant, which means all belong to one same level. But now she's little uncertain on why this equality is not sustained everywhere. So what is this equality where all had the right to vote, to stand in the same line? Right. So there's a name for this. This is called the universal adult franchise. It is an essential aspect of all democracies. It states that every adult in a country, irrespective of their wealth, communities he or she belongs to, has the equal right to vote. But Kanta becomes less certain while she thinks back again the situation that she faces right now. Is this a kind of equality? No. From Kanta's situation, we can understand that apart from having equal right to vote, a person's living and working conditions are far from equal. So that's what we call inequality. That is, to put it in simple words, people in India experience inequality in many different ways. Alright, so just for our basic understanding, we'll divide it into two parts. How is inequality seen in rural India and how it is in urban India? The most common form seen is the caste system. Okay, how is it seen in rural India? Caste is a component of people's lives, learned, experienced right from the young age according to the people who live in rural India. Whereas in urban India, people in cities believe that caste is no longer existing. To understand this further, we have two real life incidents to support the sorts of inequality that people generally face in India. One common form of inequality is the caste system, as I said earlier. So, who are the ones who actually face this inequality with respect to the caste system? It is the Dalits. Right. Dalits, the term is given by the lower caste people to themselves. It is used by themselves to address themselves. The word Dalit means broken. I hope you understood the first part of the chapter where we discussed about the inequalities, that is most common form of inequality, the caste system, that is faced by the people of India with the help of a case study. We shall continue in the next part. Thank you. Have a nice day.